Since the dawn of modern warfare, battlefield commanders have relied upon their most agile warriors to keep their eyes on the target, engage the enemy, and know the enemy's every move. With the readiness to accept a challenge and stay sharp in the face of danger, Cavalry Scout soldiers are force multipliers and play a vital role in military operations.
This MOS is important in the United States Army because it provides information to the commander and it enables him to make decisions on the battlefield.
As a Cavalry Scout, you will serve or assist as a member of the Scout Team, Squad, or Platoon in reconnaissance, security, and other combat operations. Using cover and concealment to conduct reconnaissance, the Cavalry Scout gathers vital information for the planning of military missions and the deployment of forces into battle. Cavalry Scouts conduct terrain, infrastructure, civilian, and threat analysis, land navigation, and route selection, and provide detailed reports on enemy location, capabilities, and movement. These soldiers are qualified in weapons such as the 25mm and 50 caliber heavy machine guns, light machine guns, and grenade launchers, in addition to the TOW missile system.
Qualities that make a soldier good at being a Cavalry Scout would include being mentally tough. There are times in the field where you're exhausted. It's hot. You're in a swamp where there's bugs crawling all around you, but if you're mentally tough, you're going to put that all in the back of your mind and you continue to do your job.
Cavalry Scouts operate and maintain military vehicles like a highly mobile multi-wheeled vehicle or Humvee, the Bradley fighting vehicle, and the Stryker. Soldiers attend approximately 22 weeks of one-station unit training at the U.S. Army Armor School located in Fort Benning, Georgia, where they become disciplined, fit, and competent Cavalry Scouts.
I chose to become a Cavalry Scout because I wanted to be a part of the history that is the Cavalry Scout. They've been a part of America's history since the beginning of America, and I wanted to be a part of that.
Whether you're taking part in squad maneuvers or tactical training exercises, Cavalry Scouts are constantly refining their skills to keep themselves sharp. After successful completion of training, soldiers may be assigned to a scout platoon in the operational force as a scout, driver, or gunner.
I've been to many places that I didn't think that I'll ever set foot in, like by myself, but the Army has given me the opportunity to travel to those places.
Becoming a Cavalry Scout is a rewarding and challenging career choice for qualified soldiers. As a Cavalry Scout, soldiers may have the opportunity to pursue additional military and leadership training in a variety of different areas. Discipline, physical and mental stamina, tactical and technical proficiency, and the ability to work as a member of a cohesive team are essential characteristics of a Cavalry Scout. The skills you learn in this MOS and the experience you gain in leadership, problem solving, and teamwork can help you transition from the military to the civilian employment sector.
To me, it's going to mean pride above all else. I'm the first female in my family to serve in the U.S. Army. I'm also one of under 100 females to serve in the Cavalry Scouts. So for me, it's not only pride, but dignity as well.
Earn your Stetson and spurs by continuing a proud tradition as the eyes and ears of the commander on the integrated battlefield. Military Occupational Specialty, Cavalry Scout.
Staff Sergeant Zachary Flanagan, 12 Bravo Combat Engineer, Council Bluffs, Iowa. As a 12 Bravo Combat Engineer, I went to a 5-week Advanced Individual Training, or AIT. It started off heavily with a lot of classroom time, learning about different initiating systems, explosives, ways of clearing enemy obstacles, and then after the classroom time, we would go out to the field and put those things that we learned into practice. As a combat engineer, our day-to-day training is focused heavily on removing enemy obstacles to clear the way for other Army units to get through. But at those obstacles, we also a lot of the times encounter enemy contact, whether it be through small arms fire or etc. So we have to be ready to engage those enemies as well. So we train heavily on those things. The motto of a U.S. Army engineer is a seance, which stands for "Let us try."
A 15 Tango is a UH-60 Blackhawk repair. The duties with the 15 Tango usually comes with just daily preventative maintenance. That could be putting oil in the engine, or you can have something crazy like your main transmission is broken, so you have to take it all apart and then rebuild it and then service it.
The AIT will teach you just the basics, but once you get to your unit, everyone just tries to teach you as much as they can because the intricacies of the airframe are just insane.
Well, the aviation community is very tight-knit. They welcome you with open arms. They're always there to help each other out. I joined the Iowa Army National Guard right after graduating high school. I joined because I saw the great success I had in my family and how much it can help with my future family. It's one big door opener in the Iowa Army National Guard.
As a 91 Bravo wheeled vehicle mechanic, the day-to-day task may vary from changing headlights to replacing major components such as the engine, up to in-the-field recoveries and repairs.
As a 91 Bravo, I was able to get a job on the civilian side as an auto care center manager with the learning and training that I did in advanced individual training and also additional training that I did at my unit.
Wheeled vehicle mechanic, the medics of a vehicle to keep the Army rolling.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Parker. I'm a 15 Whiskey Unmanned Aircraft Systems Operator. As a 15 Whiskey, our primary focus is put on launching the aircraft and flying it. The Army has multiple unmanned aircraft systems. The two primary ones are going to be Gray Eagle and Shadow. This in front of me is Shadow RQ-7 Bravo V2. Its primary focus is used for recon, any kind of early warning or aiding infantry or anything like that. This aircraft has a lot of different capabilities. The primary focus is in its payload. It has a EO camera, which is just like a regular camera, infrared camera, a laser designator, rangefinder, and a laser pointer. Usually we try to fly every single day we can, Monday through Friday, and just conduct any kind of training we can with different soldiers. So generally speaking, it'll be a different aircraft with a different soldier piloting it each day. When I'm flying this aircraft, usually we work together. The team is typically comprised of an aircraft operator whose primary focus is on flying the aircraft, and a payload operator whose primary focus is on controlling the camera. And then we also have ground crew members that we work with to help us throughout the flight of launching and landing this aircraft. If you're interested in being a 15 Whiskey, you don't really need any skills coming into the Army. A lot of this stuff is trained in your AIT. And then a primary focus is put on the job training as well. Some of the skills I've learned as part of my job as a 15 Whiskey include general aviation, flying the aircraft, following any kind of procedures, and just paying attention to little details. That way you don't have any problems when you're flying. I chose this particular MLS because it translates well over to the civilian world. There's a lot of jobs that are advancing as drone operators, and I was kind of looking to translate over into that once I get out.
Specialist Dominic Behrens. I am a 13 Romeo in the Iowa National Guard, and I am from Spencer, Iowa.
13 Romeo is a firefinder radar operator, and our primary mission is that we provide base security and track incoming and outgoing rounds to find the point of origin and the point of impact, so we can send that up.
I'm Specialist Ethan Douglas, a 13 Romeo at the Iowa Army National Guard, and I'm from Des Moines, Iowa.
As a radar operator, the first couple weeks in your training will be software simulations, so gathering data and making sure that you can accurately input that. The next couple weeks will be in placing and disassembling the radar, making sure you have those drills down.
I'm a 91 Charlie, hometown Silvis, Illinois. So my day-to-day starts with a work order that I go out and troubleshoot, usually having to do with a Humvee AC or heater problem, possibly a Matrix, which is our giant refrigeration unit. Once I get that troubleshooted, I go back to the TM for parts to look up the part number, get that ordered, get that part to me. I install that part and verify that the equipment is running efficiently. My AIT, 14 weeks long. We start with theory of AC systems, electrical, fire suppression systems. Wasn't too bad. Once you get the theory down, you go into practice and you just start troubleshooting.
Infantry, the 11 Bravo. As a member of the infantry, you will be on the front line, dealing with challenges head-on. In times of war, the infantry is responsible for closing with and engaging the enemy. In times of state emergency, they are responsible for security and providing the manpower to help others.
My name is John Kinney, and for my full-time civilian employment, I'm a financial analyst. But on the weekends, when I put on the uniform, I get to fly one of these guys. The max speed of this aircraft is 170 knots, or about 200 miles per hour.
In my civilian life, I'm a full-time college student. When I report for duty, I drive one of those.
I am Rachel Ntabo, a 92 Alpha, that's automated logistics supply specialist in the Iowa Army National Guard.
I am Specialist Ronnie Dell, and I am a Ranger qualified infantryman. I carry an M4 with a 320 on it. It's a grenade launcher.
My life as a child was very, very interesting.
I'd like to think I was a good kid. Maybe the teachers thought I was a little too much to handle.
I was 12 years old, and in Mexican Plaza, the restaurant in Mason City, I told my parents, I said I want to join, and they thought it was just, you know, a bump in the road. They were like, no, we don't see you doing that.
I learned and knew about the National Guard my whole life because I grew up just 3 miles from this facility seeing aircraft fly over. I think just staring up there and kind of starting to dream and think a bit about what I wanted to do. As I grew up and got a little older, it just never happened. I ended up graduating and going to college. I never even applied.
I graduated high school in my country, in Kenya, before I got my green card to travel. And I went to Iowa State because my focus was I want the degree. And because engineering was expensive for me, I said maybe if I start doing nursing, and then I get money, I can pay for my engineering degree.
After high school, I went to the University of Iowa, and I studied finance, and I minored in Spanish. 7 years passed before I ended up actually enlisting after high school. I sat down with Staff Sergeant Matt Kent and started asking him questions about the National Guard and kind of picking his brain.
And they told me they kind of give you benefits for school, and I was like, stop there, what benefits again?
The Guard is covering all of my college, every single part of it.
I will come out of college with a full degree, debt-free.
And that's how exactly I went back to engineering in 2018. Then I went to boot camp. Shipped out for boot camp.
It was 11 weeks. It was pretty intense. It was kind of a bit of a culture shock, but I was a little bit older. I could just listen and follow direction pretty well, and that's really all they're asking of you in boot camp. They're trying to teach you how to be a soldier and follow direction and understand that there's people in charge of you and you might be in charge of people also.
The common misconception that when you join the Army, you are going out and fighting on the battlefield when there are a lot of other jobs that don't require that.
The recruiter here in Des Moines, in Iowa, told me, you know, you have a lot of options. And I was like, I think I would love to do logistics supply because then it's more of something I can use even in the civilian world. And that's how I ended up being a logistics supply specialist.
My recruiter actually told me that you don't want to do the same thing 24/7. You kind of want to mix it up a little bit. So why not just do something, crazy and do something way different than what you're used to. Get away from, reality sometimes from your civilian side of work.
Joining the Iowa Army National Guard was a good decision for me because it allows me to still be a financial analyst during the week full-time, but it also allows me to serve the state of Iowa and this country as a soldier and a pilot. So the Iowa Army National Guard is essentially a part-time soldier. At its lowest level, it's 1 weekend a month and it's 2 weeks a year commitment.
And I can balance it really easily with my time as being a full-time student while also being a guardsman.
Military does not stop you from having fun, does not stop you from enjoying life to the fullest. When I'm in uniform and I'm with my fellow soldiers, it doesn't matter who is coming from where, it's just like a little family.
You get called up to do missions, you may not know someone, before, you go on mission for 3 weeks and you guys are family. You get close real fast.
One of the coolest things I've done in the Iowa Army National Guard is finishing the CH-47 Foxtrot Chinook course and probably the SEER training. That's survival, evasion, resistance, and escape.
The coolest thing that I've done in the Guard is, graduate Ranger School.
My favorite thing about my soldier life is what I get back from others. Just walking outside, doing something simple like in uniform while on duty, and you get a thank you and a smile and a handshake. It 100% makes you love what you're doing.
I love that the Army has a little bit of craziness that I would never have in my civilian life and a little bit of good discipline. So it's a good balance. I love that.
I would recommend joining the Iowa Army National Guard because of the experiences that you'll obtain, the people you'll meet, and the benefits that you get from joining.
I think everything about being a soldier helps in the civilian sector, and that's PTing and your fitness, setting goals, being disciplined with your tasks day to day. Those are all huge things that civilian employers look for and that help you in the civilian sector. So as a financial analyst, those help me every day.
When I went in, I was like, I just want to finish my contract and, get the benefits and just out I'm gone. But here I am today. I want to be here. I want to do more. I want to grow myself more. My goal as a soldier is to inspire more people, to be a good reflection of what being a soldier is. Encourage somebody to come and serve. Change somebody's perspective about being a soldier.
Do something that a young version of yourself will be proud of and will look up to.
Come join the Army.